I just finished the last polish on my dream, a 1962 Rolls-Royce Silver Cloud 2. 2 years of scraped knuckles, late-night part orders, and enough coffee to keep a small town awake. That morning, the sun painted Willow Crest gold. I rolled the car out of the garage, wiped the final smudge from the chrome, and just breathed. The air smelled of wax, fuel, and quiet triumph. Pam, my wife, came out with 2 mugs. "She's beautiful," she whispered. "We did it," I said. We just stood there, 2 people and 1 machine that had eaten up 2 years of our weekends. I was ready for a drive. I wasn't ready for what came marching across the lawn. Linda Hale, president of our homeowners association. A woman who believed a title gave her dominion over gravity itself. She didn't walk, she stormed. Clipboard in one hand, righteous indignation in the other. "Morning, Linda," I said, trying to be polite. She didn't answer. She circled the car like a vulture. "This vehicle," she said, "has been inoperable for 2 years. Violation of Section 8. "Not anymore," I replied, sipping my coffee. "Runs like a dream." But she wasn't listening. Her eyes gleamed like a dragon spotting gold. Far too extravagant for a neighborhood like ours. It disrupts the visual harmony. Pam folded her arms. "It's gorgeous, and Ron built it himself." Linda smirked. "Doesn't matter. It's on community-adjacent property. Therefore, it falls under the HOA's purview." I almost laughed. "Linda, this is my driveway. My title. My registration." She pulled out a bright yellow plastic tag, the kind used on crime scenes, and before I could stop her, looped it around the Spirit of Ecstasy. The little silver lady on the hood now wore a neon dog collar labeled "Property of Willow Crest HOA." The sound of that zip tie echoed like a gunshot. "There," Linda said, "my status grants ownership. This car is now a community asset for Founders Day. Do not remove the tag or the vehicle." I stared at her, then at Pam's phone, already recording. "Peak Linda," I muttered. Pam whispered, "She just committed premeditated absurdity." Inside, we replayed the video. Her expression said it all. This wasn't a sudden fit of power, it was planned. "She wants to take credit for your work," Pam said, quietly. "No," I said. "She wants attention without effort." That night, as I looked at my grandfather's old toolbox, I remembered what he taught me. Things worth building deserve defending. He'd been a mechanic who dreamed of a Rolls-Royce. Never owned one. But he left me his tools, smooth, worn handles shaped by decades of honest work. I wasn't just protecting a car. I was protecting a legacy. So we made a plan. Step 1, document everything. Photos of the VIN, the title, the insurance card. Step 2, remove the tag. Carefully. I snipped it clean, the yellow plastic falling like a defeated flag. Pam smiled. She's going to lose her mind. I'm counting on it. 3 days of silence followed, the kind of quiet that hums with tension. Every time I checked the mail, Linda's curtains twitched. Then came the envelope, official letterhead. A $1,000 fine for unauthorized removal of HOA property signage. And a threat. Surrender the vehicle within 48 hours or it would be considered abandoned and towed. Abandoned. I laughed. It's in my driveway. But Pam was right. Linda wanted spectacle. She wanted to humiliate me in front of the neighbors. So we prepared. We installed cameras, one in the porch planter, one above the garage. Every angle covered. When Sunday night came, I didn't sleep. Rain tapped against the windows. The world felt like it was holding its breath. At 5:45 a.m., headlights cut through the drizzle. A tow truck, old, rusty, groaning like it regretted every mile it had ever driven, outstepped a lanky guy in a raincoat. Kevin, too young to be cynical, too old to still believe this was a good idea. Behind him stood Linda, under a massive umbrella, smug as royalty. "Right on time," she called. "Hook it up." I stepped outside. "Morning," I said. "Can I help you?" I was told to tow this car," he said, nodding toward Linda. "This car," I said evenly, "is mine. Registered, insured, on private property." Linda jabbed her clipboard. "He has a work order. Official HOA business." Look, I told Kevin, if you hook that car, you'll damage it, and when you do, I won't sue her. I'll sue you and your company. He froze. Do your job? Linda shouted. Pam appeared on the porch, filming everything. I smiled. Perfect lighting, I said. Then I rolled out my trump card. Literally. I backed my F-250 up to the Rolls, nose to nose, ran the winch cable under the Rolls frame and locked it tight. 2.5 tons of steel anchored to my pride and joy. Kevin's jaw dropped. Just making sure she doesn't roll away in the rain, I said casually. Linda turned red. This is obstruction. I'm calling the police. Please do, I said. I'd love to explain. Rain pouring. Cameras rolling. One angry HOA president. One exhausted man with a winch. And a tow truck driver who suddenly wanted to vanish. Hook it. Linda screamed. I'll cover your liability. Then she pulled out cash. $200 right now. Kevin's eyes flickered. Greed. Doubt. Regret. He muttered, All right, fine. He unspooled his chain and crouched near the front suspension. Don't you dare, I said. Calm low, but with enough weight to stop him mid-reach. He looked up. Sir, I don't want trouble. Then don't make any. Pam's voice cut through the rain. Officers are 2 minutes out. And that's when the headlights appeared, not the tow trucks, but a patrol cars. Linda froze. Kevin stepped back, chain clattering to the ground. 2 officers got out, rain slickers shining under their flashlights. What seems to be the problem? Linda stormed forward. This man is defying a lawful order from the HOA. He's obstructing an official tow. The younger officer blinked. Ma'am, this is his driveway. She jabbed at her clipboard. It's community property. The older cop rubbed his temples. Ma'am, community property doesn't mean what you think it means. Pam handed them her phone. Here's video of her tagging our car last week. We've been documenting everything. The officers watched. One of them stifled a laugh. She actually zip-tied it. Linda's voice went shrill. You don't understand. No, ma'am, the officer said gently. I think we understand perfectly. Then he turned to Kevin. Son, if you hook that car, you'll be towing yourself straight into court. Go home. Kevin nodded gratefully, climbed into his truck, and drove off. Linda sputtered. This isn't over. Actually, the officer said, It is. You're trespassing. Time to head home. She glared at me. You'll regret this. I smiled. Already don't. The patrol car pulled away. The rain eased to a drizzle. Pam came down the steps, soaked but grinning. You think she'll stop? She asked. No, I said, but she'll think twice before tagging anything again. We walked into the garage, the rolls gleaming under the soft light. I ran my hand over the fender, the smooth pearl gray surface cool beneath my fingers. This car, I said softly, was my grandfather's dream. I finished it for him. No clipboard, Queen gets to rewrite that story. Pam leaned her head on my shoulder. He'd be proud. I smiled. Yeah, but I think he'd be laughing too. The next day, a post appeared on the community forum, anonymous, of course, complaining about certain residents filming private HOA matters. The comments, however, told a different story. Apparently, half the neighborhood had watched the standoff through their windows. By evening, Linda had voluntarily stepped down from her position. Pam printed the HOA's resignation notice and taped it, poetically, to the yellow tag. We framed them together in the garage. Some trophies you earn, others you survive. That car isn't just metal and paint. It's proof that patience beats power trips, and that decency, quiet, steady decency, still wins in the end. And sometimes the best polish is justice.